Hey everyone, welcome back to Redbanditracing. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be converting the Stampede 4x4 BL-2S into a Stampede 4x4 VXL. What we're going to do is we're going to take the motor and ESC out of the Bandit and we're going to put it in the Stampede and we're going to go speed test it, see how it actually handles, see how it runs, and see if we can make this into a HOSS killer. But if it works out, what we're going to do is we're going to put a brand new Velineon system back into the Bandit. We're not going to just leave the Bandit alone and strip it down. We're not going to do that. We just want to test it out, see how it runs, see how it handles with the new motor, and then we'll go ahead and take care of the Bandit and put a new motor in it. So let's go jump right into it. We're going to have to take the motor and ESC out and take it apart and see how this comes apart because we haven't done that yet. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it and we'll let you guys know what gear ratio we're going to use. All right, so first thing we're going to do, let's go and get the body off. And what we're going to have to do is, taking the motor out is no big deal, but to take the rest of it out, we're going to have to flip it over and separate the chassis so we can get the spur gear out, so we can change up the spur gear. Because the spur gear that we're actually going to use, I have one by Robinson Racing. The parts and everything will be down in the description. We are going to use a steel. This is a 54, and we are going to use an 11-tooth pinion. And the reason why we're doing that is because the Stampede 4x4 VXL and the Rustler use the same pinion. The 11 is I think it's a 50 to 55 mile an hour range, whereas the 17 tooth should be closer to that 60 mile an hour range. So this is what we're going to use for this one. And just so you guys know, the Velineon system that is in the Bandit, the 3351R, it may show up differently when you're looking at parts for the Stampede BL-2S, but they are the same. The difference is the different part numbers are if you buy the motor separately, whereas if you buy them as a combo, the part number is going to be different. But it is the same motor and the same ESC that you would upgrade the Stampede to. All right, so for this, you're going to need your 2.0 hex. You're going to need your 2.5 for the chassis. And I usually keep a pick with me just in case I'm going to need it. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how to take this out and take this apart. I am not going to show you how to do the Bandit, but I will show you how to put everything together. So let's go ahead and start by taking this cover off. Now we're going to get our 2.5 and we're going to take this top one out because I think that's what's holding the rest of this on. Now that those are off, we're going to pry up on the side. So that's how that cover looks. I was trying to figure out how to take that off. We're going to put this up aside. We're not going to be using this because I like to do my own shimming. I think Traxxas makes it too loose at times, so I like to tighten up just a little bit. But okay, let's go ahead and take the motor out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy out so we can pop that off. This motor should slide up just like that and out, just like on the Rustler. It kind of locks in right there, just like that, and it rotates down. I'm going to take that off. That looks like, no, that's smaller. That's like a 10 tooth. I haven't looked it up, guys, so I haven't looked it up, but we'll take that off and we'll kind of check out what that is. And let's go ahead and get the ESC out. Now we got that out. I want to bring one attention to you guys. It's the antenna. So let me get my right driver. Here we go. It's 1.5. I cannot believe I didn't realize this. Let's fix this antenna because I felt pretty stupid last time. I mean, we're going to have to take it out anyways. But the antenna is held in by a set screw. So when you put this in, get it all the way down, then you put the set screw in, the set screw holds the antenna in. So I don't believe that is on the way on the Bandit, but I think the Max and all the other cars, that's how it's mounted in. I did not know that. Stupid me. All right, so we're gonna take this top cover off because we're gonna have to fish the wires out. Get the 2.5. All right, so now we got that off. Let's go ahead and unplug this. Careful with the seal right there. Pop that guy out. Fish that guy out. All right, we got that out. We got the ESC out and got the motor out. Now we're going to leave this right here. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to go ahead and take the motor and ESC out of the Bandit and we'll be right back. All right, let's put this aside for a second. I just want to show you guys the differences between the systems real quick before we switch these over. Sorry for the mess. We just caught a break in some rain, so we're trying to get some videos out for you guys before it rains, which is supposed to be early, a little bit later today. Here's the Velineon VXL-3s motor, and here is, I'm sorry, the ESC, and here is a 3351R Velineon brushless motor. And look at the difference between these two. Wow, they are almost the same. They are almost the same size, and there's such a massive difference between the two. So this is the 3300 BL-2S, whereas the Velineon, this is a 3500. The size comparisons are just about the same, but you also got to think there's a built-in fan on this, so that takes up a lot of room. If you guys actually look in there, the motor actually starts right about here, because there's a fan in here, as you can see. Actually, I could just spin it for you. That helps keep it cool. But the motor is actually right about there, so this is a significant difference in size. As for the ESCs, there's not too much difference. The only difference is obviously this one can handle more power output, more voltage, and we got a fan on it. So we'll probably switch the fan over. You know what, we might not switch the fan over because honestly, it's pretty cold out. We're not going to need the fan right now. But if the system works out, like I said, if it does work out, we'll buy a fan for all of them, obviously, because it gets really hot here. All right, so let's go ahead and get that spur gear out and get that fixed. All right, so we're gonna leave that there. It's just gonna be flopping around a little bit, but let's see how this back end comes apart because I am not 100% on this. So it's just trial and error. Let's treat it like it's the Rustler. So we're gonna take these two top ones out right here. All right, now we're gonna have to go to our smaller bit. I'm gonna take all these off. I'm trying to look at this. This is part of the back end. That's part of the front end. This actually should separate. There we go. Okay, so do you see that? So this right here, that actually clips under here. So you got to make sure that's lined up when you push it in. So it does come off the same way. So yeah, don't take these other parts off. You just got to take these two out, the two top ones out, and it's almost like the Rustler. So that's actually pretty nice. Now let's take a look at this spur gear. Wow, it hits that top piece. No, okay, there we go. So to get it out, it hits right here. So you kind of have to tilt this down just a little bit like that and pull it out because it hits a little bit. It's really a really tight clearance in there. All right, so let's open this up and see how this goes. Like I said, this is the Robinson Racing. This is the 7954 Stampede 4x4 spur gear. It's a 54 tooth. Let's go and open this up and check it out. So yeah, that's the right one. I got Robinson Racing because it's a much harder metal, so we won't have any problems with this. All right, so let's go and pull this one off. Let's see if I can do it without taking the whole thing apart. All right, a little stuck on there. So, and just carefully pop it out. There we go. It just came loose because it's got to get past that bearing. You do not have to take this apart. You just slide it off like that. All right, so let's make sure this is going to go in the right way, which, yeah, there is, on the Robinson Racing, one side is lower than the other. You can see it right here on that lip to this lip. There's a slight difference, and you'll want to make sure you get that right. So we're going to put in the shallower side of this facing down, and we're going to press it in just like that. All right, so we're going to go and open this bag up because we have to use these lock washers. Now, if you have telemetry on this, then you don't need to use these. But if you don't have telemetry, you're going to have to use these. Not too tight because you're going into aluminum. So I'm going to break the aluminum. Pop that back on just like that. And that should be ready to go. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to have to get this pinion off the old motor. Just loosen up, take it off just like that. I do see a number. It is a 10. I knew it was one tooth off. Put a little bit of Loctite on it. Yeah, I can get it started. I was thinking the motor plate, but it's not going to be in the way. Now the orientation, we want the wires up. When facing it, we're going to have the wires going up to the right. You just want to make sure you angle it right so that your wires aren't going to be in the way of anything. I'm going to take it off like that. I'm going to put it directly. Yeah, we'll go right there. All right, now that we got that, we'll put the old motor aside. And we got that all set up, all ready to go. All right, so let's start putting this back in. All right, let's go and get this guy in. Oh, I just want to make one note. This is a plastic drive shaft, guys. I'm definitely going to go ahead and put a metal one in there once that breaks. But let's see how long it lasts. I want to see how long it lasts, especially with this motor in it. All right, we actually do have a one. We bought extra ones for the Rustlers, so When this breaks, we'll see if that fits. We'll see if it's the same one, but I want to see how long this lasts. I want to see if it can hold up. All right, now that that's in, we're going to go and put this cover back on. I wonder if that's why they got this cover on here. Because of the plastic drive shaft. I wonder that's why they did it now. Because, I mean, the second some rocks get in there, it's going to tear that plastic center drive shaft up. All right, now that that's on, let's go and put the back end in. And when you put it in, you got to make sure this lines up to the bottom. So you're going to have to kind of hold it. Okay, that just fell right in. Normally it doesn't do that, but typically if it doesn't go in, slowly put it in and rotate it. And it'll kind of lock itself in. All right, so with the motor, just like I said, you're going to take this notch right here and you're going to put it on this notch right here. You don't have to loosen or tighten this. That just stays where it is. That just helps you to align it. So we're going to put this in. I know it's probably hard to see, but these wires might actually be getting in the way. Actually, no, they're not. Okay, so I got that in. I'm going to rotate it down. And look at those wires. That's actually in a good spot. I'm actually going to leave that right where it is. I'm going to loosen this just a little bit because I got to find out where I'm going to move it. I'm going to put it right as close as I can to it, and I'm going to put it right there. You ready? All right, now let's go ahead and adjust the mesh. That's better. I'm going to lock it down. Nice and tight. All right, so now let's go and check that mesh out. That's perfect right there. Just enough where you can just hear it. All right, so we're going to put our cover on. Now, this one right here, I did not have to remove. See, I'm not sure where the wires are going to end up, so I'm not sure where I'm going to use that. So let's go ahead and get that ESC put in real quick. And what we're going to do is we're going to feed this through here, just like that, and it's going to have to feed through the seal too. All right, now this one's going to go in the top because I pulled it out of the top, which should be channel 2. All right, so make sure you don't tear that seal. All right, now I'm going to take some dielectric grease. Not a whole lot, just enough to... You just want to make sure no water gets in there, especially since it's the rainy season and we might be taking these out in the rain if the rain doesn't stop. All right, so let's go and plug the motor in. Now, I'm not going to use the clip to secure the wiring because that's not going to fit right with this motor. Now, you probably could rotate this motor up to the wires are pointing straight up, but I kind of like it how it's laid down to the side like this. Yeah, you know what? If you want, you can make a different notch right here because this notch right here, that's what's stopping it. You can actually grind this notch away. That way, maybe I can lay it in like this, like to an angle, and that'll help a lot more. So that's probably what I'm going to do. All right, so now we're just going to get a battery and we're going to have to link everything up and make sure everything's binded correctly. All right, so let's go and put that battery in, get it plugged up. I may not have to do anything because it was already binded to the Bandit. So let's just see what happens. Yeah, so I don't have to do anything. This is no longer going 25 miles an hour. So I think we should take this out and speed test it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn the remote on. Now we're going to hold this until it flashes red. All right, it's red. Blink once, full throttle. Blink twice, full reverse. Blink green, let go. Now the throttle's calibrated. Let's go test this out. All right, guys, so we're here, ready to do the speed test. Got everything ready to go. We're going to be using our Traxxas 5000 milliamp 3S LiPo. Everything's been calibrated. We got the GNSS analyzer, and we're going to put that right on top of the servo because last time we put it on the body, because of the shoe goo, it came off pretty easily. Oof, I hope there's enough on here. I think we ran out. I'm not sure if that's going to cut it, guys. Let's see if it goes on. Yeah, I think that's going to hold up. Thank God, we ran out of tape. All right, so just make sure everything's nice and tight. It's okay, got that all on. Let's get everything turned on. Fan's a little loud, but the fan's a little bit beat up, but it's fine for now. Still trying to get used to putting this body on. All right, Let's see how this looks real quick. Make sure it's straight. That's pretty straight. Ooh. Well, we know it's fast enough now that we're gonna have to put the wheelie bar on. So, and if you guys are wondering which wheelie bar, the exact wheelie bar that goes on this is the same as the HOSS. Okay, that's got some power. So now I'm a little happier. Let's take a guess. I'm gonna say 45 miles an hour. Like I said, it's 50 degrees out, so I'm not expecting big speeds, but remember, it went 25 before. I think now we're looking closer about 45. What do you think?
Go 48.
48? 48. All right, let's take it over. Actually, we'll do it right here. This is a good straightaway right here. So let's get it linked up. All right, it's good. Ooh, it's definitely shaky. I'm gonna try and slow down over here. Wow, that is so squirrely. All right, what's the first pass?
42.
42. Let's see if I can't keep it down a little bit more and see if I can go a little faster. The problem is it's pulling. It's pulling really bad. Oh my God, that's scary. I'm trying to slow it down. 42, so a little faster? Or...
Have all this road.
Yeah, let's go out to the road because this is really hard to keep it straight, but I have a feeling this thing's gonna crash. This is slightly downhill, so it might add a little bit of speed, but not a whole lot, but this is the straightest road we have right now, and there's not that many cars, so let's go and do it right here. No cars. Wow, that thing is moving. What do we got?
47.
47. Okay, I am a lot happier now. I would say take a couple miles an hour off because it was coming downhill a little bit. But you know what? Let's do it one more because I know that's coming downhill. Let's go uphill. I just want to do one more going uphill. Okay, no cars going the other way. Death wobble. Okay, that definitely took a lot of speed off. There was a death wobble going on there. I'm gonna come back slow just so I don't mess up the speed.
Five.
45. Okay, so yeah, it's a couple miles an hour off just because it was going downhill. So I'd say about 45 to 48 is probably about where it's gonna be. So that was actually some good guessing right there. So yes, much happier. I can say this, we are definitely going to verse the HOSS. All I did was break it real quick and throttle it. It's so light that you can hop it back up. But this definitely needs a wheelie bar now, so I'm gonna go pick one up. I also just got new body armor, so we're gonna put body armor on this one because we haven't done that yet. And if you guys did notice that death wobble, I wanna say it's not just because of the tires. It's gotta be by the weight. It's very light. It's a lot lighter than the Max. So I want to say it's because of how light it is, and that's why it was wobbling. So there's really not much we can do to fix that. What we could do, obviously for speed runs, is we can drop the suspension down. Because the lower you get that suspension down, especially on high speeds, it'll help control that a little bit better. But it's not just that. You'd have to drop it really down. But the other problem is it's not a really wide car, so that doesn't help either. Kind of like on the Bandit. The Bandit gets death wobble too, but that's because the weight distribution's got more weight in the back than the front. And on this, it's hard to say. I feel like there's more weight in the front. So I don't know. We can't really get rid of the death wobble. We'll tune some things a little bit to see how it goes, but hey, I'm happy. Got this thing over 25 miles an hour. So what do you guys actually think about this car now? What do you guys actually think? Is this a HOSS killer? I know I may be making some of you guys mad out there that own HOSSes, but let's be honest with each other. What separates this from the HOSS now? It does have the Velineon 3500, whereas the HOSS has the 540 XL. So that handles more power. This has more speed. But if you take them both onto a track and race, what's the real difference there? This has a much beefier suspension now. It's got the same body. It's got the same tires. I mean, the only thing that I would change on this would be I would put the GTR shocks on, maybe some links, and the center drive shaft is plastic. But like I said, I don't do upgrades just to do them. I want to see these break before I start putting upgrades in. So I'm not going to change none of this until I see something break. So what do you guys think? If you guys want to see the Stampede versus the HOSS, leave a comment down below, versus. Say versus in the comments, and we will definitely take this out, and we'll take James's, AKA Crash. We'll take his. Don't look the prettiest, but it runs good. I mean, it definitely doesn't look nice anymore, but we will go head to head, and you guys can pick the competitions that we do. Ramps, long jump, donuts, you name it, and we will do it. So anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.